internet is something very, very different. We thought of it as this amazing tool that can be used to communicate with others and develop a great world for the next generation. But in reality, that's not the case. The internet is a very, very dark place. We live in a time where people are easily manipulated by bald men, fan art like this, memes like this, and tweets like this. But hey, the internet did give us the ability to watch anime on multiple sites. So that's a win, right? Oh my god, what is even happening? Why are so many people dying? What the fuck? This is what we've all been thinking when watching Perfect Blue. It's one of the most bizarre things I've ever watched, and I don't think it's the fact that it's from the 90s. It's more of the dark warning we, the viewer, are given, what not to become when technology begins to evolve. This mind-twisting story is created by one man and one man only, Satoshi Kon. When you hear the word anime or animation, one immediately conjures up images of bright colors, larger-than-life characters, and stories all catered to suit a younger audience. But that's not always the case. You see, Japanese director Satoshi Kon is widely celebrated as one of the most masterful filmmakers. He's revered for his work in highlighting animation as a limitless genre, one of many creators that changed how we viewed anime. In 1991, Kon worked as an animator and layout artist for the animated film Rojin Z, along with many other animated works. He then worked on the manga Saffron Wings with Oshi. It was published in 1994 in the Animage magazine. In 1995, Kon served as the scriptwriter, layout artist, and art director of a lot of short films. Finally, years of hard work. Satoshi Kon afterward would be distinguished by the recurring theme of blending fantasy and reality. When Satoshi Kon made this film, social media didn't have this huge monopoly on society as it does now. No Dream, Mr. Beast, or any shitty streamers dominated a single platform. It was simply just people doing random assortment of things. And this young adult is really no different than the people that just did random stuff. Perfect Blue, our story, starts off with Mima, who's a pop idol who wants to break away from her innocent roots as a girl group idol and decides to explore the mature realm of acting. She sheds her pop idol image and decides to let that life go. Since she takes on a role in the crime drama series, her career and life entirely changes. For the worse. Her life as an actress becomes more demanding and taxing for both Mima and her manager, Rumi Hidaka. To add to Mima's growing unease, an obsessed fan who's incapable of accepting that Mima has quit being an innocent idol begins to stalk her, eventually developing a blog that documents her entire life to the very minute detail. Every time I get to this part of the movie, I feel nauseous and disgusted. It's one to love a celebrity or some movie star, but it's another to center your whole life around a person who may not know you. Mimania is known as the stalker in this movie. He represents a certain type of person on the internet, those who are violent, obsessive, and resentful. He does not stand for something good, and I think it's pretty fair to assume. This stalker serves as a manifestation of what people are capable of doing with the endless possibilities of the internet. The stalking of celebrities or even social media influencers has always been a thing. The obsession will never go away as long as the internet exists. This unending obsession for some internet personality has never been so clearly outlined till now. With the age of streamers and obnoxious YouTubers, parasocial relationships is a term that most people know. But for some of you who may not know, let me dumb it down to you to the best of my ability because I'm also an idiot just like you. Parasocial relationships are one-sided relationships where one person gives a lot of emotional energy, interest, and time to a person that is completely unaware of the other's existence. You see, parasocial relationships are most common with celebrities, but can be on a much more broader scale. Examples being sports teams. We partake in these one-sided relationships, but the extent of said behavior can be jarring. With the case of celebrities in Perfect Blue, the viewer is left with this visceral reaction when seeing this fan, who really becomes much more creepy and haunting. You sit on your couch or whatever, wanting Mima to get better and feel more safe, but this mysterious, creepy, and obsessed individual won't let that happen. And I'm not even going to use the word fan. This character becomes far more monstrous than a fan of a pop idol. Obsessive followings of celebrities have prevailed in all corners of the world. Think of boy band stands, reality TV fandoms, and all over Hollywood. Celebrities are often equated to royalty or deities sent from the heavens, and mistakes are often treated as death sentences, not allowing celebrities to be human as those obsessing over them. There is nothing wrong with enjoying boy bands, reality TV, or movies produced by Hollywood, of course. The problem lies within those worshipping and idolizing others, who are in fact as fallible and flawed as we are. And this very concept and psychological damage it can cause is at the core of Perfect Blue. This is no fault of your own. The culture surrounding the internet could be incredibly toxic, and it's incredibly hard to not be so easily manipulated. So that raises another question. Why is Mima so naive and not aware of how toxic the world of the internet can be? Well, this movie was made in the 90s. We had no clue of what the world could be like. When Mima announces to a crowd of adoring fans that she is leaving behind her job as a Japanese pop idol to pursue acting, many of her fans miss her, but one fan does not take too kindly. Mimanya is the most upset by the sudden change. Dude looks like a British person. I'd be upset too. Although initially in support of her, he loses his shit. This is because he would rather be the one to take her innocent image away than herself, not allowing her control over how she presents herself. This man has no actual connection to Mima. He is not her father, friend, brother, or even a coworker. He is a man obsessed with someone on a TV screen that doesn't even know that he exists. When someone says a piece of media is ahead of its time, Perfect Blue always comes to mind. This is intended to be representative of the obsession fans have over a celebrity, how intense power social relationships can heighten a celebrity onto a fragile pedestal. Her life is slowly falling apart. She is slowly breaking. Many people find Perfect Blue a film that is difficult to understand and interpret. You're not wrong for thinking that. Even for me, I am an 18-year-old college student and finding it very hard to navigate the world. So even watching this was a bit harder for me. It took me a lot of times to even understand anything. When watching this, something continued to persist in my multiple rewatches of this film. Khan Sublime Direction tends to fuse reality and virtuality, with the specific aim of making the viewer feel the same sense of horror that envelops the protagonist Mima for almost the entire length of the film. Things get much worse for her. A new anonymous website begins to impersonate her life with intricate detail. Cham, her pop idol group that she was a part of, also appears to be doing better without her. One by one, each disturbing development drives Mima to become increasingly unhinged. Mima was a J-pop idol who upsets her fans by attempting to shift to acting, destroying their perception of who the real Mima is. But simply, it's just a young girl who wants to just change her life for the better. It is from the anonymity of the internet that her stalker is able to get inside her head. Early scenes of the film in which Mima chats up the clearly deranged stalker on her new computer are interesting. I would imagine that a more modern audience will laugh at them, finding ironic humor in her naive attitude towards the internet. After all, while most of us are wiser about who we talk to online, social media has been a tool to communicate with others all over the world. So there's a likelihood of a wave of optimistic people who think the internet is a safe place for them. Knowing how young Mima is in comparison to the older adults around her, the stalker still manages to get into her head and make her feel horrible about herself. Mima, who after leaving her old life behind, struggles to find who she is, blurring the lines between her pop idol personality and her true self. Her story examines the toxicity of Japan's idol culture of the time, as well as tackling the psychological consequences of being idolized. You'd think that our main character, the story we'd live through vicariously, would remain as this destroyed person. Satoshi Kon doesn't break characters and leaves them as the shattered version of themselves. It's a lot more than that. That's an underrated dimension of Kon's work. Unlike many other directors who favor films about madness, he always has more interest in bringing his characters to a better place than breaking them. There's a strange tendency among writers to assume self-interrogation can only lead to worsening anxiety and doubt. In a story created by Satoshi Kon, however, protagonists come out of their ordeals happier and more reassuring. In defiance of the message pop culture frequently sends that mental illness cannot be overcome. He believes that self-exploration can weaken neurosis, that people can conquer or live with their demons. In spite of the darkness Kon saw in media and tech, he always asserted that there was a light we could reach. This light is still missed. Kon recognized the disturbing possibilities of the internet at a time when most were preoccupied with the utopian future. This is a film about a young woman driven to the brink of insanity by the stresses of the entertainment industry. She's being tormented by everyone around her, feeling scared for her life by the predators of a cyber stalker in a time before most people knew what the hell that even was. The relationship between identity and one's performance of themselves is at the core of most of Kon's work. He explored that this is not just in our relationship with the internet, but also with entertainment, our work, and our dreams. In different combinations of these interrelated identities, he found terror, drama, and beauty through the ways they clash or fuse. Mima is a proxy character that the viewers see to get a better perspective of someone who's experiencing mental issues. Despite her being a character just from a movie, she represents a lot of people in the audience. She is shown to grapple with depression, suicidal tendencies, and finally, dissociative identity disorder, and is afraid of getting labeled as crazy or locked up. Mima has to deal with people close to her who have let her down. She faces so many traumatic events that are nearly impossible to survive. Although she may be broken, she manages to heal and get back up. I hope that Mima can rebuild her life and not have to face anything like this ever again. I may not know what lies ahead for this character. There is no sequel to this film. It's only Perfect Blue. I want her to be in a better place mentally and physically after all she has endured. But when she ends the film declaring, "I'm the real me," with a smile, that small line, those words made me certain that she triumphed and managed to overcome all odds and will make sure that she is in a better place. And I'm sitting on my couch, watching this again and again, and saying to myself, what a perfect ending.